Welcome to AI Training Agentic Framework Bootcamp. We're just going to be doing a high-level overview of what an AI agent is and teaching you guys the basics of how to use an AI agent and a little demonstration at the end and some hands-on building of AI agents. So let's check this out. Enter the matrix with me. So what is an AI agent? So the way I like to think about AI agents is they're basically large language models with hands. So what is a large language model? That is your things like Google Gemini, ChatGPT, Copilot, Claude, so on and so forth. So the difference between an AI agent and your typical chat assistant is that chat assistants just give a response, whereas AI agents actually take agency over your device. They take action for you. And these are a couple of the differences here. Assistants are just predictive word speech. And this is really how all large language models work, right? The entire basis of a large language model is just predictive messaging. It's just recognizing a system or a pattern and predicting what the next word is. And that's how a LLM is built. And inside of a neural network through machine learning, they just predict the next best word or the next best resolution to whatever the case may be. And that's what a large language model really is at the heart of it all, coded through a language called Python. And so we already talked about this. Large language models are the brain. Agents are LLMs with hands. This is just a little fun hand animation just to, help us sink in for you guys. So now we are talking about the buzzword MCP, or the buzz acronym, I should say. So what is MCP? MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. So Model Context Protocol, the way I like to think about it is that the MCP is just simply the librarian inside of a big library. And all the librarian does is goes and it grabs the information or the books and brings it back to you. In order for your large language model or for yourself to actually take that knowledge and use it. And so MCPs just give your AI tools to use. And that's what Model Context Protocol is. And there are literally thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of MCP connections out there. And so what we have is this little chart, little diagram to kind of showcase all the different varieties and flavors of MCP connections that exist today. So now let's dig deep. Let's build an AI agent. We get to jump into the terminal. So what is step one? We're going to build a very basic agent today. We're going to kind of build a pre-installed, pre-packaged agent. One of my favorite agents is Claude's SDK. So we're going to use the Claude SDK to build our agent today. So what is step one? Step one, go to claude.com, look for the agent SDK and download it. I don't know how else to put it. That is the easiest, most simple way to install the agent. If you want to be fancy and you want to do it through the terminal, go right ahead. This is the code for it. So you open PowerShell, and I'll pull up a new terminal for you guys just to walk you through it for the first time. So you open PowerShell, and you're just simply going to take that code there, this HTTPS URL, and run that in your terminal. It helps if you actually select it. Hit that right there, and then the download process is going to begin. And one thing for those of you that may not be familiar with PowerShell or the terminal, so right now it looks like it's installed. Just give it a little bit of time. It is installed now. So we have our little message. The installation is complete. And if you want to check to see if you installed it correctly, so let's move on to the next slide. And so what we just did when we downloaded Claude, the Claude SDK agent, what we did was we actually created a folder structure. And you can see that by clicking your folder or your Explorer files here. This file right here, we're going to talk about this in just a second. This is the Claude MD file or the heartbeat file or the soul.md file, depending on which one you're using. This is a super important file. This tells the agent exactly who it is, what it should do, what it shouldn't do. It gives the guardrails. It has all the preferences inside the Claude.md file, also known as the heartbeat file. And so this is the inner workings of the soul.md file. Pro tip here, use Claude to create the Claude.md file. Let's just say we want this to be a project manager agent. If we want this thing to pretend like it's a project manager, we would simply bring up Claude, the regular chat version of it. and ask it to create a claude.md file that lays the groundwork for a project manager agent. Bada bing, bada boom, there it is. Claude.md file. Open it in anti-gravity. And would you look at that? Isn't that just beautiful? BEA, beautiful. And so here is the role. You are a project manager agent. Your job is to help plan, organize, track, and drive projects to completion. Then you got the core responsibilities: planning, tracking, communication, risk management, facilitation, operating principles, project structure, default artifacts, interaction patterns. What you don't do the execution work. You don't make decisions that belong to the project owner or the stakeholders. You don't pad status reports. If there is nothing new, say so. And I love this part, the things you don't do. Telling the agent what it has agency over your computer to do and your work. But yes, this is a beautiful, beautiful file right here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to actually use it. So let's Control C that and Control V, and we're going to save it. And now we have a project manager agent, just like that. And that is pretty much the basis of it. You're probably wondering, where's the UI to interface with this thing? Don't worry, I'll tell you. So now that we have that, in that same folder structure that we had up earlier, lives right inside of there. You see this guy here, this Claude execution. We're just going to double click that. It's going to open up a new PowerShell. This is the UI that you interact with your project manager agent on. So let's give it a test. Let's put it to work. You create a status report, a demo status report, and just give it a few seconds. And there it is. There's our status report. All right, so that was good and well. And this is really good for you guys to get your hands and feet wet with building AI agents. But I want to show you something that's a little bit more in depth. Let's take a look at something that I've pre-built already. And this is a little bit deeper. When you guys become power users, you'll be able to get to this level. So what I've built here is actually a full marketing agency right here. I have a project manager, a front-end developer agent, a back-end developer agent, and a QA engineer. And all of these are AI agents that talk to each other to get tasks done and to build websites. Not to mention that this is also directly connected to Workfront. So let's just say we have a new project brief that needs to come in, and we want a new task created in Workfront. All we would do is come over to our project manager agent, and we would talk to it directly and say, hey, I need a new project brief. The team needs a couple photos for a social media campaign. I'm thinking Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Also, let's start the beginning work of possibly a YouTube channel for, I don't know, our customers, just for their sake. We're going to hit create in Workfront, and there it is. Bada bing, bada boom. There is the task. Now let's actually open it in Workfront, because I want you guys to see that this is an actual working thing. This is not for play. This is not a demo. This is actually working. Would you look at that? A beautiful task created in Workfront. It's got all of our different project details inside of it. We can click into each one of these and assess if we need it or not. We can get rid of it. We can add to it, all from that one prompt. But this is just a little taste of what AI agents can do and how it can greatly improve your workflow. I think on average, this probably would have taken up another project manager 2 to 3 hours. As you can see, I just created this in about 15 minutes, maybe even less.